Right, so I like to say Barak the Yahweh, Barak the Yahweh Shah, Barak the Yahweh, Barak the Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Rakaha, Kodash, double ones, the apostles and elders of GMS. Salutations to you brothers out there that's doing this work in truth and sincerity. It's not going to be a long video, but hey, the Spirit have us building an ark, man. And it's not a physical ark, right? You're not going to gather wood, nails, and a hammer and get the building, right? It starts with you. It starts with your mindset, man, right? And how you walk in this truth. So Romans 12:2, and be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, right? So now everything before you came in this truth, everything that you thought or had in your mind, you have to do away with, man. You got to put it in a furnace and burn it up, right? Now, what you putting in your mind is the words of Yahweh, Yahweh Shah, which comes out of the scriptures. And of course, you got to have teachers, right? And the teachers have to teach you again. That's what the scriptures tell you when you go to the book of Hebrews, right? The 5th chapter, it says before you are a teacher, you have to be taught again, right? So it says Romans 12:2, and be not conformed to this world. It says, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. See, the renewing of your mind, that ye may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of the Most High. Go back into the book of John, the 3rd chapter. What did Yahweh Shah say to Nicodemus? He said, you have to be born again. You have to be born again. Nicodemus said, do I have to be born through my mother's womb? Yahweh Shah said, no, you need to be born through the Spirit, by the word, right? That's in, I think, 1 Peter's 1:23, right? Let's get that real quick. 1 Peter's 1:23. It says, being born again, not of corruptible seed. Corruptible seed is that which is contrary to the word of Yahweh, that which is contrary to righteousness, but of incorruptible, by the word of the Most High, which liveth and abideth forever. Let me get that in a different translation. Let me see what the NLT, for you have been born again, but not to a life that will quickly end. Your new life will last forever, because it comes from the eternal living word of the Most High. Let's see what the NIV says. That was the NLT. This is the NIV. For you have been born again, not of perishable seed, but of imperishable, through the living and enduring word of the Most High. Because that's how you're going to renew yourself, is by reading. The scripture says, open ye the book and read. That's Isaiah 34:16. That's how you renew yourself. Not by dumping yourself in the water, right? In this filth of water, but by teachers teaching you this word and truth. They asked Yahweh Shah, how do we get to the kingdom of heaven? And he did what? He brought in a child, man. Right, so let me get it. This is Matthew 18:1. At the same time came the disciples. Now, a child, what do a child do? A child will listen. A child, when you're talking to a child, they're just absorbing what you're saying, right? So because a child is only going to grow up to, what's the word? Acting as their parents or acting as the culture, right? So it says, at the same time came the disciples, Matthew 18:1. At the same time came the disciples unto Yahweh Shah, saying, who is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven? And Yahweh Shah called a little child. Now here it says Jesus, but we know it ain't Jesus, right? The letter J didn't come about until 1524 by a man named Gian Giorgio Trissino, which the name Jesus goes back to the Greek, which is Iesus. So the Lord wasn't a damn Greek, man. He was a Hebrew, so he would have a Hebrew name, and it's not Yeshua, it's Yahweh Shah. If you actually, went into the Paleo Hebrew, and Yahweh Shah called a little child unto him and said, and set him in the midst of them, and said, verily I say unto you, except ye be converted. So you have to be converted, and become as a little children, because the little children will humble down and absorb everything you saying like a sponge. You shall not enter into the kingdom of heaven. So you got to be like a child in this thing, man. You got to be like a child in this thing. So again, building an ark starts with you. It starts with renewing your mind, right? You moving in the spirit and walking in the spirit, right? Now, is it something difficult to do? Well, you're always being refined, man. You're always being refined. When you take a sword, right? And you're a blacksmith and you take a sword and you put it in the heat and you bring it out. It's not the straightest thing in the world, nor is the sharpest thing in the world, right? You could be put in a fire, right? And still be unrefined. But when you put it in a fire, you take it out of the fire, it's hammer time. So now you hitting the sword with a hammer consistently. And guess what? It takes a long time for it to straighten out. And then even after you get it straightened, you got to put it on what? That grinder. Now you're sharpening it, man. And what the scriptures say, that's why you have to also be around. That's why, you have to be around Akim, because iron sharpen iron. Now the Most High might have brothers out there teaching by themselves and whatnot. Hey, all praises and due to Yahweh Shema Shah, because you have prophets and apostles that have had to teach by themselves as well. But ultimately, you should, Lord willing, pray and strive to be around other brothers, because other brothers are to sharpen you. So that means that, look, if a brother is going off, you have to correct that brother, man. Because iron sharpen iron, so y'all both making each other strong. Right? So again, going back to the sword, blacksmith put it in the heat, it's still not refined. Now you got to hammer it. And now you got to put it on a grinder. So it takes a lot of work to refine, to become refined. It still takes a lot of work. You got dudes, for an example, you will have dudes in the truth that are still not refined. It would take a lot of times. It would take years to refine that brother, right? So you have to be refined. You have to be tried. You have to be refined. You got to put in that heat. You got to be hammered. You got to be sharpened. So that still takes a process of time. But in order for that to happen, that's another brother is supposed to be there to help you become refined, not to slap you down, put you down, right? Not to belittle you, but to refine you, right? So it's always a process of learning. So it says, Matthew 18:2, and Yahushua called a little child unto him and set him in the midst of them and said, verily I say unto you, except a man be converted and become as a little children, you shall not enter into the kingdom of heaven. Whosoever therefore shall humble himself as this little child, the same is greatest in the kingdom of heaven. And these are like basic scriptures you forget, man. These are basic scriptures that can slip your mind, as become a humble and as becoming a little child. So no matter what position you in, you're supposed to be as a little child. This is basic scriptures you forget, man. So it says, whosoever therefore shall humble himself as this little child, the same is greatest in the kingdom of heaven. And whoso shall receive one such little child in my name receiveth me. Think about Yahushua. Yahushua was washing the feet of the prophets. This is a man, him and the elect created the universe, the planets. This man got great power, and he humbled himself and washed the feet of another man. How humble can you possibly be, right? So this is a process of refining. Refining doesn't mean to just put in a fire, pull you out, and you perfect. There it is. Nah, hell nah. You got to be put in a fire. You got to come out of that fire. You got to be hammered. Hey, even before that, man, when they take you out the fire, they'll hammer and they'll take you out the fire. If I'm correct, they'll take you out the fire and they'll hammer it. While they hammering it, you're still being refined. The sword is actually still hot. It's actually still hot. So you're being pulled out of the fire. You're still hot and you're being hammered. You're being refined. You're being shaped. And then you get put into the water. So you're constantly being worked on in this truth, man. You're constantly being worked on. But this is where even if, you're going off, even if you go off, it's a brother's job to restore you or renew you in the mind, not to just cast you away. You gotta be, what's the word I'm looking for? You gotta be merciful, man. You gotta be merciful in this thing, right? Because look, you gotta understand, and I always used to say, Jake been in the world longer than he been in the truth. Right? Jake been in the world longer than he been in the truth for most. So of course you're gonna have mess ups and you're gonna have fuck ups and all those things. But it's up to another brother to refine you, to restore you in the spirit. Now there comes a time to where that can't happen. And if that can't happen, then look, you gotta go. Right? But that's just the process of things. But the scriptures tell you in Matthew's, you still have to be a forgiveful brother. 70 times 7. Right? So again, we're not building a ship, right, with hammer and nail, but we doing it spiritually, not physically. Right? So again, let me go into Romans 12:2 again. It says, and be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that ye may prove what is good, which we understand what good is. Good is the keeping of the law, statutes, commandments. That's what good is. And the Lord will do away with your ass if you commit adultery. The Lord will do away with your ass if you blaspheme his name. The Lord will do away with your ass if you ain't treating brothers right. The Lord will do away with your ass if you're tattooed, if you're still getting tattoos from head to toe. Right? Because that which is good, according to the scriptures, is the keeping of the law, statutes, commandments. It says, and be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that ye may prove that is good and acceptable and perfect will of the Most High. Let's see what that says in a different translation. NLT, it says, don't copy the behavior and customs of this world, but let the Most High transform you into a new person by changing the way you think. Then you will learn to know the Most High's will for you, which is good and pleasing and perfect. All praises and due to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shah. This is the NIV. Do not conform to this pattern of this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. Then you will be able to test and approve what the Most High will is, his good, pleasing, and perfect will. Well, the thing is, the Lord is testing us, man. The Lord is testing us. We're not testing the Lord, man. So I don't really like how I said that, but the Lord is testing us, man. We're constantly being tested. Abraham was constantly being tested. Coming into this truth, you're constantly being tested. You're being tested on how you act within this world. Because look, you could go out on the highways and byways, prophesy and teach all day. But what are you doing in your private time? What are you doing in your private life? Are you being a demon? Right? Are you doing everything everybody else doing? The Lord is constantly testing you. The Lord is testing you when you are among brothers. How you treating brothers? How you talk to brothers? How you deal with brothers? How you deal with your woman? How you deal with your children? How you deal with people in the world? You're constantly being tested, man. Because again, this thing's about the building the ark starts with you first, man. Building the ark starts with you, right? Starts with that putting you in the fire, pulling you out, right? Hammering you while you hot, putting you back putting you in the water, and then sharpening you up. That's the process of blacksmith, right? So we're not testing the Lord. The Lord is testing us, man. We're gonna constantly be tested in this thing, right? And again, you know, um, iron sharpen iron, so a brother can sharpen you in the truth. But one thing you gotta understand too, man, is that you gotta have ears open when a brother is telling you something. Hey, the scripture says, it says, what is that? I think that's in Sirach, the book of Sirach. It says, hear before giving the occasion of speech. So again, man, this is a process of renewing your mind. What is that? I'm gonna grab that, then I'm gonna grab this, then I'm gonna end it from there. Let me see. I think that's Ephesians 4:22. Right. Ephesians 4:22. It says that ye may put off concerning the former conversation the old man, which is corrupt according to the deceitful lust, Salakia, and be renewed in the spirit of your mind, that ye may put on the new man, which after the Most High is created in righteousness and true holiness. So this is how you deal. This is how you're supposed to deal all around, man. No matter what position you in, no matter if you're an apostle, elder, right? No matter if you are a captain, co-captain, lieutenant, whatever position you are in this truth, you're supposed to be you're supposed to be in the position of Matthew 18, being as a child, being humble, being able to listen, especially if you're in a leadership position. That was a crazy thing is, man, because I watch a little bit of anime, right? I watch some anime, and like right now I'm watching an anime called Black Clover, and and in Black Clover, the king of Black Clover, the people have no respect for the king because the king is never involved with the people. Not only that, but he's not humble, right? He expects praise. He really a demon, man. He a demon. And the people don't even respect him. They don't even want him to be king. They want there's another guy, I forget his name, Julius. They want Julius to be king. So if you're no matter what position you in, if you're not humble as a child, the Lord would do away with your ass, man, because you are the head. You're supposed to be the body, man. The head controls the nervous system, the arms, the feet, the legs, the toes, all that. And if the head isn't right, then you could throw off everything with the body, man. So before that happens, the Lord would get rid of your ass and replace you, man. Right? So you gotta, when building out art, it starts with you first, man. It starts with you renewing your mind. Whatever got you in the situation you in, you need to change that shit, right? Get rid of it and learn all over again, man. That's just what it is. But Lord willing, this was edifying. I like to say Barak Yahweh, Barak Yahweh Shah, Barak Yahweh, Barak Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Bakaha Kodash. Double ones, the apostles and elders of GMS, and salutations to you brothers out there that's doing this work, truth and sincerity. I like to say Shalom.